What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Trout Wrangler Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Garrity. That right there is the vibe curator, Mr. Maverick. How are we doing today, pal? No words for us today? Nothing from the man back there. But we got a very awesome interview today. Before we get into that, I'd like to thank the companies that help us do all this: Bahio Sunglasses, Afueta Coffee, Free Fly. We got Temple Fork Outfitter, Riversmith USA. If you want to save 10% on your Riversmith order, use code Wrangler10. If you would like to help us out a little bit, go ahead and leave a review on Apple, on Spotify, wherever you watch this. Help out greatly if you did leave a review. Don't have to, but if you would like to, go for it. Now for our interview with Mr. Joe Berney from Columbia PFG. What's up, guys? Like I said in the intro, we have an interview today. It is with Mr. Joe. I'll kick it over to you to introduce yourself a little bit, Joe.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on, Ryan.
No problem.
You've had some good folks on here. A good friend of mine, Joe Gugino, was on here recently. But coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, those of you listening that are now asking the question in your head, well, is he actually from Atlanta? No, I live in Sandy Springs. But yeah, I am the Columbia PFG social and influencer manager. Some may know me because I was a host for the TU podcast, Emerging, back in college, and then was at Flylords for a while, but recently made the switch over to PFG and am really loving what I'm doing there.
Yeah, sorry about that. My dog was
I love the dog.
Yeah, that was my dog squeaking a toy in the back.
Best life.
Dude,
Yeah.
chill.
Good.
All right, he's good now.
Good
Sorry
him.
about that.
I love it. I mean, my dog might hop up and get in my lap at some point during this. He's known to do that. But yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell. As far as what I'm doing, and yeah, love being in the fishing world and have been since I was in college.
Yeah, dude. You went to UGA, correct?
I did. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. We'll talk about that a little bit here in a little bit. But the first question I always ask is where and when did like your fishing journey begin, and if you always use a fly
rod? This has actually, I think for a lot of people in the South, it started with worms, and a little pond, but not seriously fishing. Like me and my buddies would go out and sneak on the golf course ponds and do stuff like that. But I wasn't totally bit by it. And in high school, I don't know what did it, but I got fascinated with fly fishing and started reading things like Gink and Gasoline and Fly Lords and watching Tom Rosenbauer on YouTube, and I just got really interested in it and kind of taught myself. I didn't really have grandparents that fished hard or dad that fished hard, and really just kind of got into it on my own, and had a buddy that caught me watching fishing videos in history class and was behind me, and he's like, "Oh, you fly fish?" It's like, "No, not really," trying to figure it out. And we ended up going on a bunch of trips together, weekends in high school. And every chance I got on a weekend or whenever it was in high school, I was going out and going up to North Georgia or right down the street from my high school to the Chattahoochee and trying to figure out the whole trout thing on a fly rod. And that evolved a lot through college and getting to guide and then getting to intern at Trout Unlimited and then work at Fly Lords. And it's been a big evolution since, for whatever reason, I thought fly fishing was cool when I was in high school and could drive and could make it happen.
Dude, I think I had like a similar story, dude. Same thing. Sitting in class, like watching fishing videos. I actually met my best friend who I was just telling you about, who we were down at deer camp with. We were at I want to say it was sixth grade football tryouts, and we were just sitting there shooting the shit. I moved here in the fifth grade, and it was like my first time trying out for the football team. We met, and he was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "I like to fish and collect football and baseball cards." I was like, "Damn, I do too." And then
sounds like every guy friendship starting ever. Like
exactly, dude. It was like then we're still going to deer camp to this day. It was like the rest is history. And then we fished on like our high school and middle school teams and stuff like that, and college and all that. But dude, so like your bio mentioned working in brand partnerships and like content and conservation. Like, how did that crossover? How did you land in that crossover between creative and conservation work? That was a loaded question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I think probably like a bio more pertaining to what I was doing at Fly Lords too. But the conservation stuff, I'll start with that because I think that's really important. And I think it's important to blend into fishing because there's a guy that works at a fly shop now. He used to work for DNR, always be at this creek up in North Georgia that I'd fish all the time. And I always say, like, if I take someone out fishing and I teach them how to fish and they figure it out, they'll ultimately care about the resource because they want to keep doing it. And I think that goes with anywhere, whether that's all the stuff that's going on down in Georgia with the redfish or steelhead up in the PNW. Like, there's fisheries and conservation issues happening in all corners of the world, and especially the U.S. And I'm not going to get on my soapbox on how we have reactive conservation in the United States. That's a whole other story, and that'd be better to have with Andy Danielchuk. But Fly Lords, when I got there, I came in with my experience from TU and interning there, and a lot of the people there were very passionate about making sure that we were protecting and conserving the waters for the next generation. And that was important for us because conservation isn't sexy. It's something that doesn't do particularly well on social most of the time, doesn't get a lot of clicks on an article, but the fact that the information's out there and you're utilizing whatever platform or audience you have to raise those issues. I think Captains for Clean Water does a really good job of educating and putting out content and having this grassroots effect. But the intersection there for me was that, and also with like PFG now, like if our consumer is all these anglers across the United States and globally, like we've got to be doing something to make sure that they still have waters and a resource to tap into for getting outdoors. So that's where like we partner with Captains for Clean Water and other organizations because like we want to make sure that you still have access to those things and that the next generations have access to those things. So I think it's a pretty natural connection point for brands, for media entities, and going back a little bit, the Fly Lord stuff, like it was a small team. So we all did all sorts of different things. And I wouldn't have considered myself a creative when I started in that job, but when you're around so many talented people and creative people, it rubs off, and you learn to use that side of your brain. And it's like working with people better than you and talented and in different places. So I think that for me was like where I kind of melded that creative with the conservation, and we'd loop it into certain stories. Like we did a Atlantic salmon film up in Newfoundland, and that was like supposed to be like the place we could go get them in North America. And it was just a bad run that year, and we like caught, I think, 2 or 3 and spent a week there. It was rough. Like when you go on one of those trips and you're not catching fish, it's brutal.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you're just out in the sticks in the middle of nowhere, and it's really hard to get there and far away from everything. And but I think it's important. Like we got to see firsthand that the Atlantic salmon population is definitely not doing great.
Yeah.
Then we go on fly shop tour in the Northeast, and ASGA has been like raising the alarm for years and years, and other organizations in the Northeast about the striper stocks and how they're going away. And we go on fly shop tour, and we planned it to be like perfect for the fall run, and we just could not catch a striper. And it's like, what, like, yeah, this is a huge issue, because like, how is anyone going to get stoked about fishing if there's no fish?
Right. I think Joey G still kicks himself in the ass to this day for that. He mentioned it on our on the episode I had him on. He was like, dude, that fly shop tour video like had people questioning if I could catch fish.
I mean, it was tough. We went
Yeah.
out with some really dialed people all along the Northeast, and it was a struggle to like get one fish. So yeah, that's fishing.
Yeah, there it is. It's all good.
All right.
Good deal. Yeah, dude, we talked a lot about that on the episode with Joe. It's bad up there right now, man. Like, real bad.
Yeah. It's a problem when you're only catching big fish.
Yeah, big league, and I
I
think that's
don't think
part.
people,
I think that's part of the problem in Georgia too.
yeah. So there's no future of
Yeah,
the fishery. It's like what happens, like there's no small fish. Like you want to catch small fish.
exactly, dude. And it's like that's one of the things that like everybody always like. It's we got to go out and catch a million big ones, and it's like no, dude. You want to catch. You want to have a point where you're catching small ones to where you know that there's spawning potential in that fishery. And it's like that's a tough thing to, especially this day and age with like some of the younger kids that are starting to fish, like fly fish more and more. Is it's like you don't want to only be catching big fish. Like you don't want to get pumped when you're catching giant reds and that's it. You're not even really weeding out little ones.
Yeah.
But I know you went to UGA like you were talking about a little bit ago. You started the Emerging podcast. I had Joey Tardif on a few months ago. That's a good dude right there too. I think he's on it now.
Yeah,
Right?
he's a good dude. Yeah, he's a great dude. Um, but yeah, that was a very fun project, and I really had no idea what I was doing. I was a junior, yeah, junior in college, and I got brought on as the intern for TU. And like, they asked like, oh, what's like one thing that you want to do as like your big project for your internship? And I wasn't really into the whole, they have this whole magazine that was print mag, and it was great. I thought it was really cool. That wasn't my speed. Uh, and this is like, well, I was really into podcasts at the time and was listening to Taylor Trash and a bunch of other podcasts. And I was kind of like, as podcasts were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I said, okay, well, let's start a podcast and let's bring on experts and people that this next generation looks up to, but let's also talk to the students, or let's talk to alumni of the Five Rivers program, and let's do all these different things. And it's really cool having people like the Perkins brothers on there, having Chris Wood, who's the CEO of Trout Unlimited, but also having biologists from Alaska, and having other students that are doing really, really cool things in the Five Rivers program, and having people like Jared, who started Fly Lords, on there, and Heather Harkavy. And it really tested me creatively. As you know, also editing a podcast is a bit of a sufferfest.
Oh, yeah.
And you record it for however long, and then it takes about 3 times the amount of time to edit it. But it really, I think you can look at your professional life and you can see all these different things that affected why you're sitting somewhere. And I think this probably had one of the biggest impacts on me being where I am right now, because of the people that I got to talk to. And ultimately, Jared would tell you that my interview with him influenced him hiring me out of college. And so, yeah, I wouldn't be where I am without that experience at Trout Unlimited. And I think a lot of that accumulated to where I am now.
Heck yeah, dude. Did you start the Five Rivers program at Georgia?
I did not. The Five Rivers program at Georgia is rad. An awesome faculty advisor named Jay Shelton's there, like the master of shoal bass, and they had restarted it. It started and then it fell off, and then it restarted a year before I got there. And coming in, I really wanted to be involved in the club. I thought I was going to go to Virginia Tech, funny enough. I didn't think I was going to go to Georgia. I didn't think I was going to be able to get in. So I was already had found Five Rivers because Virginia Tech had a club. And I was getting ready to just figure out where I wanted to plug in when I got to Blacksburg. And even got connected to their president, who's now working in the fishing industry too, in kind of area. He's works for Turtlebox and is a sales rep for them. And but I ended up getting into Georgia, so I already knew I wanted to plug into the club, and reached out and got involved and became like the social person for the Five Rivers Club my freshman year. And then that eventually progressed where I worked my way up to leading the club my junior year. And that club has set things up in a way which I think is really smart, and the system was put in place by our faculty advisor, where the president was always going to be a junior. So you had this basically pipeline of where that junior could be a senior and enjoy being a senior, but you were never worried about the club like totally aging out or dying again, because you were so focused on raising up like leaders for the club when they were freshmen or sophomores, because the president was going to be a junior. And then as the senior, you'd kind of move into like an advisory position in the club. And since then, that club has really thrived. I think it's one of the larger Five Rivers clubs in the country. And we got to do some really cool things while we were there, like working on a whole stream restoration with the local TU chapters, and someone from the club was a landscape architecture student at UGA and designed the whole stream restoration project, which was really cool. So yeah, it was great being at UGA, and that club is awesome, especially for how far it is from like trout water.
Yeah.
It being a TU focused club it was an hour to get to North Georgia from there, which after living in the West is nothing. I mean, like I lived right by the frying pan, but I was an hour from fishing a lot of the times when I lived out west. Because you drive up the canyon and you're like weaving your way up, and all of a sudden it's been an hour, but it feels like you're right there. Um, so yeah, it was, and there's great bass fishing around Athens
Oh
too.
yeah.
So it's um, that's like a huge regret. And since moving back to Georgia, I've set my sights on figuring out the whole bass thing because I was so focused on trout. And after living out west for a little bit, I think trout in Georgia aren't really going to do it for me.
Yeah.
The same way that
Yeah.
that a shoal bass or a big spot are gonna get me fired up.
Dude, once you start catching spots, dude, you get like addicted to them. It's like I live like 10 minutes from Lake Norman, and it's like when I was in
Hmm.
high school, I was addicted to chasing spots. And not even like the big
Yeah.
herring eaters, like the ones on Lanier and stuff like that. These are just like regular American shad, like spots like that. Dude, the catching a spot on a fly is nothing like I've ever seen before. It's literally like hooking into a brick with a motor on the back of it and just watching it just go a million miles an hour the other way. It is so much fun.
Yeah.
But
I haven't caught like a big spot on the fly yet, but when we were on fly shop tour in Clemson, we did the dock lights. One of the Five Rivers guys from Clemson hooked a pretty solid spot off of off of one of those dock lights, and he was so fired up. We're like,
oh yeah.
we were stoked. It's like this is the biggest spot I've ever caught, like right now.
That
It's like,
docklight fishing's fun, isn't it?
oh yeah,
Dude, it's a blast. It's a
yeah.
blast, dude. Like come like April and like when the shad spawn goes on, like I'll get a call from one of my buddies like after work. He'll be like, "Hey, you want to go and fish until like 3 in the morning tonight?" First time I went and did it, I was like, "What the hell are you talking about, dude?" I was like, "Are you out of your mind? It's gonna be dark out." He's like, "Dude, I'll change your mind about night fishing forever." We went out there and it is literally like sight fishing in the
Oh
middle of the
yeah.
night. It is so much fun.
And you would think it's also a little techier than you would
Oh
think.
yeah.
Like if you get on that, get too close to that light, it just totally shuts down. Or if you get too close to the light, the people that own the dock will shut it down. Um,
Dude. Oh, we've had it a bazillion times on Lake Norman where we'll pull up, and it's like the people that own the dock know exactly who we are. Like when the shad spawns on, we're there like 3 nights a week, and they'll be sitting up there in their window. They'll see us pull up, and they'll flick that light right off. And it happened to us on me and a bunch of my buddies went to Smith Mountain Lake, stayed with one of our buddies. It happened to us on Smith Mountain Lake too. Got cursed out by like an old lady. She's like, "Those are my pet fish." Same same thing. I'm like, man, it's 2 in the morning. And you're like 75 years old. I don't know what the heck you're doing up, but that's crazy. But
Yeah.
you now work for Columbia PFG. It's like what led you there, and now what you already kind of hinted on it. But what do you do for them?
Yeah. I think along with most people that grew up in the South, PFG has always been around, and it is like it is the oldest fishing brand. I mean, Columbia has been around since 1938, and so the heritage there is really cool, and I think the opportunity to go to a brand that I grew up on and help them out with social and community and things like that was really interesting to me. They also wanted me in the southeast, so that was great for me. I definitely missed home a bit and had a great stint out in Colorado, but wanted to get back to the south. And yeah, all of that kind of added up and led me there. But right now, I'm managing the social channels for PFG as well as the like influencers and creators that we work with, which are a great group of people. We've got a really awesome crew. And on top of that, like the product is getting so much better. And it's not your dad's fishing brand anymore. Like think of PFG. A lot of people think of like the button up, like vented fishing shirt, but there's some really, really good stuff that the product team has come up with in the past few years that really excited me and got me totally bought into what they're doing over there. Because when the product is there and the product's good, like makes my job a lot easier. Like I'm not BSing people. Like I've totally drank the Kool-Aid because the product team has made really cool stuff, and it just makes the marketing authentic. It makes the people talking about our product that we work with more authentic, because you don't have to fake anything. Like, oh, I'm getting a check, so like I have to say nice things. It's like, no, people like the stuff anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the stuff, and I think they're really making maybe one of the best sun shirts on the market. And I know a competitor of ours sponsors your podcast, but I do think like the product team has really, really killed it by listening to our ambassadors and the people we work with and real anglers on the water, and giving people actually what they were asking for when it came to all the apparel stuff they want to wear on the water.
Yeah, dude, I think like either way, it's like I think people can give Columbia PFG their props either way. They can give their flowers, because it is like, if it wasn't for Columbia PFG, a lot of these brands wouldn't be out there. They put like the groundwork out there for a lot of this stuff, and they put the idea out there, and it's cool. I had, when I was high school all through college, I had like a closet full of Columbia PFG shirts, all like my whole way. People were like, "Dude, you dress like a 60-year-old man. You're always wearing." I'm at the bar in a Columbia PFG ECU shirt. People are like, "Dude, what the hell?" I'm like, "Dude, it's comfortable. Come on."
Yeah.
But
It's comfortable. I mean, you were cool when I was growing up. Like you were cool if you were wearing the PFG Brewha shorts and some sort of fishing shirt. And that's I think those shorts we still make. Next year is the 30th anniversary of the classic like Bahama shirt, which is crazy. So it's like it's what a lot of people like when they first started fishing or go on their first saltwater trip. Like it's available and it's accessible to people, and it's at a price point that's accessible to people, but it's great stuff. And it's really cool working for a brand like that, and the people I work with are amazing. And even though it's a big company, it feels really small because all the people there are really awesome. And you look around and like this person's celebrating their like 25th year with the company, and it's a great culture. Yeah, and it's been really, really cool to see, especially going from really small company to like the total opposite.
And it's like, what's cool is it's like Columbia private equity hasn't gotten involved with Columbia at all, and it's like that's kind of rare to see in the industry these days.
It's publicly traded, but like still very much feels like a family owned company. The Boyles are still heavily involved. Like famous Gert Boyle, like her son is the CEO, and it's very cool. Like he walks around campus in like an old PFG shirt and just like is the most laid back, like cool, just like brings a cool culture from the top down that it still feels like it's a family run business.
Yeah, and that's what's awesome. And that's kind of like what we need to see more of. And I hope
Yeah.
he's starting to get down that path because it's like, you know how it is. Like, you've seen the same companies, when it's like the private equity gets involved and some stuff goes on and it's just kind of like not the same, which stinks, but
Yeah.
that's the brutal truth of it. But
Yeah. And from my perspective, like I think we're going to control what we can control, and I think it's cool. Like I don't have experience like working at any brands that were acquired by PE, but like you can kind of see from afar. But it just the thing that's always like since I've been at PFG, which is still very recent, like the attention to detail and like the willingness for the product team to want to talk to like real anglers on a regular basis and make sure that they're making the right stuff and not stuff that people aren't asking for, um, has really impressed me. And it's been really cool. And like all the proprietary technology that's been developed since 1938, like all in um, the innovation lab there, like it's really cool
yeah,
to see and to wrap my head around like, okay, like this shirt literally feels cool to the touch, and when water hits it, it physically gets colder. Like that's insane. Like how did you do that? And then they rattle off all the scientific stuff, and I go, I picked up half of that because that's not how I operate.
same here.
Um, yeah,
It's like
it's like
my ADD. It's like I want to know how, and it's like just give me. It's like if you're like, there's a lot of people out there. Most people are probably way smarter than me. A lot of people are. I know it for a fact because I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm sharp enough to be dangerous. But it's like give me the spark notes in like a manner that I can. Don't give me crazy scientific facts. I'll figure it out. But it's like I know that's cool.
yeah.
But
So
it looked like you
that's
guys.
been cool for me.
It looked like you guys did a collab with Paul Puckett. That looked pretty successful.
Yeah.
Paul's the man.
We're in we're
Oh
in one
heck
of
yeah!
the hoodies right now. Yeah, Paul's the man, the absolute man. And I was that was in the works before I got to PFG, and I was really excited when I came in and saw that. And it's cool to be tapped into culture that way. Like he's had such a big impact on the fishing community, whether it was like he worked at the Fish Hawk right down the road from me for a while. And he is really ingrained in the Charleston community, and his art is just his art.
Yeah,
Like it's very unique. And like you look at it and you're like, that's a Paul Puckett piece.
yeah,
And it was really cool to bring that to life. And the teams that did that at PFG, like major props to them. And I got to work on the content aspect of that, which was really fun, and put together something that kind of told the story of Paul a little bit, and worked with him on that and kind of getting some studio stuff, getting him on the water, and that the collection turned out great.
yeah,
I mean, the redfish, the tarpon, the largemouth, like key species that we pursue here in the Southeast. And yeah, I was really, really excited with how it turned out. And I quickly went out and bought every piece that I could out of that collection, because I think it's one of the coolest things we've done this year. That's not like on that high performance end.
yeah. Did he give you his Danny McBride impression?
No, he didn't.
Dude,
But somewhere in this office, I have the redfish print, which is pretty cool.
yeah, dude.
Um, and yeah, it's I didn't get to go down there and be on the shoot with him, but I've run into him quite a few times, whether it's at trade shows um, or whatnot. But yeah, it's really cool to do a collab like that and
Yeah,
really tap into culture, because people see Paul and they're really stoked because more so honestly for him than for us, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge win that people can get really stoked for artists like that and community leaders like he is, because he does a lot of great things for the fishing
Oh
industry.
yeah, dude. I was listening back to the podcast that I did with him, and he dropped like a very subtle Danny McBride impression, and it was to this day like the best Danny McBride impression I've ever heard. But like, he kind of reminds me of like he's got like a funny way about him. He kind of reminds me of Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah.
He kind of reminds me like a Seth Rogen, like one of those slapstick kind of comedy guys. He is the man, dude, and some of his stuff is so cool.
Yeah. I mean, what he's able to do in the sketch art and the stuff like that, like he's on a trip somewhere and he's in the middle of the jungle and he like just all he needs is a pen and a notepad and busts out like a really cool sketch
Yeah,
of what happened that day. And um, yeah, it's his range is really cool from like the sketch stuff, like that's what's on the collection that we did with him, to like the like more detailed paintings, things like that. It's really cool to see, and he's also just like a great guy to be
he
around,
is.
like just a lovable, great dude.
Yeah, for sure. But dude, how many solid black PFG shirts do you think you've sold to Luke Combs this year?
Um, we don't sell them to him. We that's actually a really interesting story of how we started working with him. But um, he gets, I think he gets like 30 shirts at the beginning of the year. And like it's not like a fresh shirt every night. Like he uses them, but the story behind him starting to work with us was before he was big, like as far as like becoming a big star in country music. He like was touring around, and they their options for like laundry were the bathroom sink. Like that was it. And they found that like black Columbia PFG Bahama, and it dried fast, and you didn't sweat a ton in it because it was breathable, and it's like, okay, this works for like how we're operating, because like we can wash this in the sink in the like motel room and hang it up, and it's going to be dry like by the time we need to wear it again, like it's going to dry quickly. And um so then eventually his manager reached out like a while ago, and started helping him put gas in the van, and that's evolved since then. And we got to do a really cool show in Athens, before the Georgia Ole Miss game, which was just probably one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of, because no one really does that anymore. Like like announce a tour, and then you like wait online on that
Yeah,
stupid portal to get your tickets, and you buy your tickets and you wait 6 months to go see the show. So you're really excited, you got the tickets, and then like 5 months later you're like, oh wait, I have this show that I like got tickets to, I'm excited for. And us keeping that a secret as best as we could, and announcing it the day of, and having a line like all the way down Clayton Street
yeah,
was really cool. And then everyone got to come back that night, and the energy in the George, I don't know if you've seen the show at the Georgia Theater, but it's a small venue. We were max capacity at 1,000 people. The last time Luke played there was in 2015 or 2016. And now he sold out Neyland Stadium, which is over a
massive.
100,000 people
Yeah,
for 3 nights. Like, and all these people got to see him with 900 other people,
yeah,
and which was really cool. And the audience was so into it and so engaged. which made it really, really special. And yeah, that was really cool. And then next day we got to go do a tailgate on campus, which was super fun. Just like a great time. And Luke's team is awesome. And yeah, really, really good partners, but very humble beginnings with how we started working with him.
Yeah.
Like before he was a multi-platinum artist, like he's been rocking that same black Bahama.
Yeah. Dude, and it's like, I know people that were at App State when he was there, and they said, dude, he just wore the same exact thing every time he played App State at that one little bar. And like one of my buddies named Michael has like videos of him playing in there, like cover songs like Eric Church, and there's like the bar's full, and he's
Yeah.
still Black PFG. It's
Yep.
unbelievable, and it's cool because it's like, the guy that is friends with him and I think writes some songs with him, Adam Church, is from Charlotte, and it's like I'll walk into Sycamore Brewing sometimes and he'll just be hanging out there playing like Luke Combs cover songs and songs that he's played with. But it's like, dude, imagine like being at I can only imagine being at App State, walking and be like, oh, Luke Combs is playing tonight, and then now he's selling out Neyland Stadium like you said for 3 nights. It's like, oh, I used to
Yeah.
go see that
Sold
dude in
out
college.
Wembley. Yeah. He's like doing Europe tours, doing full stadium tours now, which is crazy. I think he passed, like, is now the #1 country artist on radio ever. And yeah, it's really cool. And just like such a good guy. And it's cool to see too, like his manager is still his manager from when he was like just coming up. And yeah, just great folks, like all the way down to like his social media manager I got to work with when I was at that show. And like just all great
Dude, yeah,
folks.
you guys did do a great job of like keeping that under wraps. Cause like my sister,
Well, somehow it got out. And because I got to Athens, they were putting up the marquee that it was going to be Luke Combs um, at like 8:30. So I got to Athens at like 7:45 and that morning, and there are people lined up. It's like, are they just guessing? Like, how do they know that this is happening? Are they just trying, like, they see PFG, like Columbia PFG presents, that was put up at 6 a.m., like dot, dot, dot. And there was nothing else below it except for tickets on sale at 10 a.m. And I saw someone that I knew in line, funny enough, and I went up and I asked them, and it's like, you're here before we even announce anything. Like, you know who's playing? And they're like, I have an idea. It's like, how do you know? Like, this lady was giving me a flu shot yesterday and told me that she saw on someone's Facebook that Luke Combs was coming to play the Georgia Theater for a surprise show. Like, how does this random lady in Athens, Georgia know that? And come to find out, like, it was someone from the venue, like, posted it on, like, leaked it on Facebook, and then the post got pulled down. And but there were people in line at 7:30, and they stood there until 10 when they could get their tickets. And but after we announced it, you'd see cars pull up and drop people off, and they'd get in line, and then they'd go park, and just this constant flow that there was a line, if you're familiar with Athens, from the corner of the Georgia Theater past Last Resort, like all the way down that block on Clayton Street.
Yeah, I saw pictures of it. Freaking,
it was nuts.
Unbelievable. I want to go see Billy Strings there, but I couldn't justify getting tickets.
That would be a cool show.
Yeah, but it was like crazy because my sister, like, you posted it. When I messaged you, I was like, "What website do I have to go to get these tickets?" I was like, "I know my sister's gonna be like, can you please go and get tickets? Can you please like go on and get tickets?" And that's why I asked. I was like, and you're like, "They're in person." I said, "You got to go in person right now." And she's like, "I'm still in Charlotte. Do you know anyone in Athens?" I was like, "No, I don't."
And you had to. They had it really locked down so people couldn't resell them. Where you went in, you got a physical ticket, you walked out. It was only $40, and all the sales went towards a charity that Luke picked, and it was only $40 to see the show. And then you walked out and you got a wristband that they put on. And to get in the show, you had to have the wristband and the ticket together. If you didn't have both, sorry, like,
That's a good way
can't
to
come
do it.
in. And I thought that was genius. And so there was no reselling of tickets. And then I had a few tickets on hand that I walked around and did a little trivia and man on the street and gave people tickets. And then once it sold out, kind of walked back towards downtown and caught some people that weren't able to get tickets and did that with them. And had a few left over right before the show started. And we gave some away to people that were just standing on the corner, like, with a prayer that maybe something would happen. And like, that was really fun to be able to do that and see the excitement around it. And yeah, it was I'm like, was at a loss for words for a few days at that experience.
I bet, dude. And dude, Athens is just such a cool city. We're going back
Yeah.
on November 22nd for the UNC Charlotte game, and it's like I count down the days for my trip to Athens every year.
Yeah, I love it. I hadn't been back in a long time because tickets are not cheap. And I really wanted to go to that game against Ole Miss, and it was like $600 to get in the door.
Yeah.
So ended up, as soon as like the tailgate wrapped, I like booked it back to Atlanta to watch the game from my couch.
Yeah.
So it was it ended up being a good game
really
for the
good
Dogs. So
yeah. So we get lucky. So my girlfriend's boss has season tickets, and if he doesn't want tickets to a game, like we got to go to the Georgia Tech game last year, he was just like, "Here, take the tickets." He's like, "I don't need them this weekend," and he'll do that for us at least once a year. And I'm like, I love it. I'm like, I get him.
yeah.
I get him like, I always go and thank him. I was like, I just got to start buying him a bottle of bourbon.
Yeah.
And bribing him, see if he gives me a couple more. But dude, I know Columbia PFG was a big part of that Costa Rica Four Corners thing. Did you have anything to do with that series?
Yeah, so we partnered with Flylords on that. And that was pretty early into my time at Columbia and PFG. But I got to go, which was really cool. The Marlin behind me was from that trip, and got so lucky because a bunch of people had had PTO planned when that trip was. So it ultimately fell on me that I got to go, which was really cool. But I thought that turned out really well. It was cool to do something very new for social. Not a lot of people had stretched out like a more long form piece on Instagram Reels like we did with that piece of content, and it's really cool to see the response. And the fishing down there in Costa Rica is really cool, and I think it's rad how Chuck and the whole crew from Four Corners, like, one, that like you see a lot of places around the world where like the white guy or the gringo goes in and starts a lodge and hires people locally and things like that. But the fact that majority of the ownership and partnership in that operation is Costa Rican, I think makes it really unique and a authentic experience. And it's not like your 5-star amenities, but the fishing is really good. The hospitality is incredible. You stay in Marvin's house that he built when he was 24 on the beach up in northwestern Costa Rica on the coast. And we were doing sailfish and cuvera snapper and like looking through the rocks for octopus at night and catching pufferfish barehanded, and just the diversity of fishing that's across that whole country is nuts. And yeah, I was on the camera boat, and the captain was adamant that we weren't just going to troll out there following the other boat. He wanted to throw a spread out, and yeah, big blue marlin came into the spread and started ripping line, and they're like, "All right, Joseph, this is all you." Like, all right, like this should really be one of the people getting filmed fighting this fish. But yeah, that was insane.
Oh,
That fish, that fishery. I never want to fight a fish that big standing up ever again.
yeah.
Like, it whooped me.
Oh, I bet. Dude, like I caught 150 in Hawaii, and dude, even that one, it's like 10 minutes. I'm like, I need to sit down, man. Like, someone give me some water. I was like kind of in my prime high school age too, like getting ready to go to college. I was like, damn, that whoops your tail.
Yeah, this fish was it was definitely over. It was definitely over 450, maybe five. But yeah, we didn't put a tape on it, so I'm not gonna say it was a nickel when we didn't have a tape on it. But it was pretty cool experience. I mean, watching that thing come up into the spread and just totally smoke the pitch bait was really cool. And we're in a panga.
In
Like,
a panga? you
yeah,
caught that marlin off of a panga?
yeah.
Holy crap. That's cool.
I mean, it was like had a bimini top,
Wow.
like T-top type situation, but I mean, it was for all intents and purposes panga. And like, we probably could have landed it pretty quickly, but a fish that big next to the boat, like still green, just sounded like someone getting impaled
Man.
with the bill. So yeah, and then it sounded on us, and you're just standing there like trying. You take a foot of line, it takes three. Like, you're just. It took about an hour
Damn.
to get a leader on it. And but yeah, it was like we got it next to the boat, got it hand below the clip, and like as Marvin was going to grab the bill, it popped, and we're like, all right, best
That's
case
easy.
scenario. No one wanted to mess with that fish.
Yeah.
Like, the gunnel's about this tall. Like, that fish was wider than the gunnel. Like, that thing could come in the boat if it wanted to,
Yeah.
pretty easily. So that was really, really cool. And also getting to see Heather catch a nice sailfish on the fly.
That was
Um,
sick.
almost had a marlin. Curtis almost had a marlin eat his fly on a 12 weight, which would have pretty quickly exploded that whole setup.
Yeah. That would have been cool to watch,
Um,
though.
I think it would have been pretty quick. I
Yeah.
think it would have been about 5 seconds until he was totally spooled.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been crazy if that marlin would have ate it. Like, trailed under his fly for a few seconds and then dipped off. It might have been the same fish, because they had marlin in the spread before we did, and it could have been just the same fish that drifted over and came up and ate in our spread, because we were offering bait, not flies.
Yeah. You're offering a buffet.
Yeah.
But dude, so like it's been pretty cool to see how you started the tailgate series. How's the turnout been at some of those tailgates for y'all?
It's been good. We've done LSU and UGA so far, and it's been great. We were in the parade grounds for LSU, which is where all the fraternities tailgate. So that was a lot of fun. UGA was a ton of fun. We were right there in front of the student center, which is like a main thoroughfare to get to the stadium. And yeah, we have fun things going on. We got like the food truck. The food at the Georgia one was unreal. The like a piece of cornbread, some fried chicken, hot honey drizzle, pickle, so good. And like have a like one of those wicked tuna games, and giving out like a bunch of free sun hoodies and hats. And I think we had over 2,000 people come through the tailgate at LSU, had well over that at Georgia. So yeah, it's been a huge success so far. And it's cool to show off like that next generation, some of the stuff we've been working on, and what the product teams put out. And like, it's not just button downs anymore. It's like cool technical sun hoodies and comfortable shorts and things like that. So that's been a huge success so far. And we still got Gainesville at UF and UT Austin left. So got 2 more in November.
Yeah, dude, those are 2 great towns. UF's interesting.
We'll see what I think of the Swamp, because I've never been there. Georgia always plays them on a neutral, like in Jacksonville. That game's this weekend. Yeah. But yeah, I've never been down there, so it'll be interesting to see.
So do you guys have do you guys thinking you're gonna do a few more during like bowl season or anything like that?
No, we're not really planning on that. I think the UT one will be the last one for the year, and I think we'll start looking ahead to figure out what we want to do next year.
Heck yeah, dude. So
yeah,
this is the last this is one of the last questions we got here, other than or I should ask this one first. So do you guys have any other cool projects coming down the line before I ask the silly question I got at the
end? We've got some cool, I think just in general, like trying to think about what I can talk about. We've got some cool updates to some key stuff coming, as far as like product goes, which I'm excited about. Just like that continuation of listening to anglers about what they want, what they like about stuff. And I think just really excited about showing up more next year. I think like being present for people, showing up at local events, doing things like that. I'm really excited about, because ultimately, like, want to make the big brand feel small, and show up for people in their local communities, at their local tournaments, at different guide events, things like that. So a lot more on the ground stuff where you can find us on the road moving forward, which will be fun.
Heck yeah, dude. So how do you think the rest of the dog season will go?
We've got some tests. It's hard to say. I mean,
yeah,
the team fights. The team just like fights hard. I think Florida's gonna be a tough game.
Yeah.
I think Texas is going to be tough no matter what. At least we're playing them at home. And Georgia Tech's undefeated.
Yeah.
As we're sitting here right now, and they've got a good team. So I think ideal scenario is we don't make the SEC championship and we get a home game for the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, I could care less about the game, that SEC championship game, because you go in there and lose that game, you don't get a bye.
Yeah.
And you get beat up. Like,
it's like, dude,
anyways,
Colby Young's already hurt. Like,
yeah, the team's beat up.
Yeah.
offensive line is thin right now. But yeah, hopefully they can pull it together.
Oh yeah, dude. Gunner, I think I heard people saying Gunner's hurt too.
Oh no.
Yeah, but
well, we got a good quarterback behind him.
Yeah, that's true. Puglisi can sling it, dude. That dude
Yeah.
is so good. But so have you got to the point of the season where you want to make Mike Bobo a custom PFG shirt infected with SARS? If not, what do I need to do? I can withhold it from your boss.
I would love to. I would love to see a different offensive coordinator.
I would too.
But I think I don't know. He's kind of gone in his bag a little bit more these past few games. I think it's the defense that's the real issue right now, honestly. I mean, offense has been putting up points.
Yeah.
And they've done it when they've had to. So I don't know. People love to hate on Mike Bobo, me included, but I think I'm starting to realize that we might have a defense problem right now.
Yeah, and I would like to see Sam Pittman be the O-line coach too.
I would love to see him come back.
Yeah.
That would be electric.
Dude, Bobo, I hate, through the first half of the season, he was like, hand off, and he's like, you know what, we'll throw a slip screen out to the flat.
Yeah, he loves this bubble screens.
Yeah, it's like Matt Patricia when he was the OC for the Patriots for that 1 year where he was just like bubble screen.
Yeah.
But so our last question is always, what are your 5 songs for the playlist? We got the Trout Tunes playlist, and let's see.
Yeah. So I wrote down more than 5.
That's fine.
This was honestly the thing I thought when I was glad that you gave me a heads up on this. But I'm sure Joe added a Colby Acuff song, so I can probably scratch that one out.
Which one is it?
Enjoy the Ride.
I think I had that one on for Joe.
I do love that song. So I'm going to go with I'm going to stick with Athens, one of the bands that was there when I was a student. A song called Mashed Potatoes by Underground Springhouse. And that's a good one. I'm going to see them next week. So Be Here by Turnpike Troubadours. And then, so that's 2. Echoes by Cade Hoffman.
There it is.
Cade's super talented, up-and-coming country artist. Everyone should listen to.
I'm about to listen to him.
And My Kind of Saturday Night, Luke Combs.
Heck yeah.
We talked about him, so got to put some Luke on there. And for the last one, let's go with another angler. Let You Down by J.D. Clayton.
Huh. I haven't heard of J.D. Clayton. I'm about to listen to him though. Dude, I think this is the first time I haven't put a widespread.
The key is it's Let You Down, but it's the one that's live from the exit in, because I was at that show when he was recording.
Got it. Right here. Got it. I think this is the first week I didn't put a widespread panic song on mine. It's all I listen to.
I could put some widespread on there, and I actually got to see him in Nashville recently, which was great. That was a really cool show, and I'll listen to the Athens set from top to bottom.
That's what I do. That's I work at a golf course, and I'll hop on to cut greens, and I'll just listen to Panic in the Streets from top to bottom.
Yeah. Yep.
But mine, I had the new Ella Langley song. Had to get in my bag a little bit. Choosing Texas.
Yep.
The Sublime version of Scarlet Begonias.
Nice.
Gamora. Jerry Garcia Band. Getting in my bag again. Domino by Jessie J. Banger. And then Stacy's Mom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But
be a pretty eclectic mix when you get deeper in the amount of guests.
Yeah, dude.
Like all the different things that get put on there.
Dude, it does. It's like it started off. I had it started off already like super eclectic, where it was like all rap, and then mine was like all Widespread Panic and Grateful Dead, and then I was like, all right, I gotta mix it up a little bit. But do you got any last thanks or plugs for the end of the show?
Well, thanks for having me on. And yeah, just I think thanks to all the people that I've worked with. It's great to be around people all the time that are just like really dialed. So that's been cool, from TU to Fly Lords to here at PFG, where I am now, and I get to work with some really cool people, like a lot of our partners at PFG and things like that. So that's cool. If you like film photos, random stuff that I go around and do, follow me on Instagram. And if you want to see some cool gear, go check out PFG.
Heck yeah, dude. But I had to click stop here, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. I greatly appreciate that, dude. We got to let some tracks
Absolutely.
This is What's up, guys? That was Mr. Joe Berney with Columbia PFG. Really cool episode. Very much so made a very detailed outline of his career in the fishing industry and what he does at Columbia PFG, how they're do. I mean, it's really cool how they go around to these different colleges and these SEC football games, and they set up a tailgate. I think that stuff's awesome. Nothing better than college football. Haven't got the foot of coffee picks and predictions in the last couple weeks because my Friday shows have been I haven't had many Friday shows because I'm either deer hunting or something like that. But we're gonna do it this Friday. We got some good college football on. But Mr. Maverick back here decided he wanted to squeak the shit out of his macaw toy back there, his guacamaya, and interrupt at the beginning. But you know what? That's okay. That's what editing's for. But he was a very good boy the rest of the podcast. So we can give him that. You want that? Good job being a good boy the rest of the podcast. But hope you guys like that episode. If you would like to like and subscribe on YouTube, leave a review on Apple, Spotify, wherever you watch these. Clearly very sleepy man. But until Friday, I will catch you guys later. You want to say bye to everybody? Since you wanted to squeak your toy loud as hell. Good boy. See y'all Friday.